Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good morning. In my presentation, I would like to focus on the performance of the company in 2017 and on what we're doing to ensure that our operations are sustainable in the long term. I will talk about our performance through the lens of our sustainability policy. We formalized this policy last year, which promotes reporting on the integrated performance of our business. In each of these areas, we have made significant progress during 2017, and we have challenges for this year. I would like to start with people. Then I will present the progress we have made during the year on environmental matters. Thirdly, I will go through social development and how the group is approaching this and engaging with the communities in which we operate. Then I will talk about corporate governance. And finally, I will move to our economic and financial performance in 2017. Thank you. Our most important achievement in 2017 was that we had no fatalities or serious accident at our operation. And as of today, we have not had a serious accident for just over 2 years. The rate of accidents with lost time has decreased, and the reporting of potential but not realized hazards and risk has increased. These are both positive indications that safety overall is improving at our operations. While we're very proud of these achievements, we cannot be complacent and are very aware that it is only by constant reinforcement of all our safety actions and the strengthening of our safety culture that we can sustain this record. This certainly remains our first priority. During 2017, Centinela successfully concluded its labor negotiations with all 3 workers' unions. The essential terms of each of the labor agreements, which date from when it was 2 separate mining companies, have been standardized, which will bring further improvements in operating practices and costs at Centinela. Zaldívar also completed its labor negotiations last year, and in March this year, we successfully concluded our labor negotiation at Los Pelambres. We do not have any more negotiations until next year. At Antofagasta, we recognize the importance of diversity in our workforce and building an environment where every person can develop to her highest potential and professional potential. We designed a diversity and inclusion strategy that was approved by the board last year, and we're now advancing a plan that will help us to increase women's participation in our workforce and in senior roles so that we can access the best available talent to continue to develop and grow the company into the future. Now, I will give you an update on the next element of our sustainability policy, social development. In 2017, we continued consolidating the changes made to our community engagement model. During the year, we had no material reportable incidents with any of the communities near our operations. Our goal is to continue working under a jointly constructed and shared vision of social investment, developing the areas close to our operations and constantly working with the communities, local governments, and state agencies where appropriate. We're extending the same approach to our northern operations, and we expect to improve the interaction we have there as well. There, we call this Diálogos para el Desarrollo, and we're implementing it at the transport division, as well as in our mining activities. We work best when we work in partnership with the communities in which we operate. We may not always agree, but we believe constructive conversations help avoid misunderstanding and enable resolution of all differences if they exist. To name a recent example, in the case of Pelambres, we worked together with the community and a Chile-based university in the recent startup of a technical college in the local port of Los Vilos, which will provide training and develop the skills of the younger generations. who would otherwise have had limited educational opportunities. This college has currently about 300 students, and we're very proud to be able to contribute to the education of the children from the areas near Los Pelambres. The next element of our sustainability policy I would like to touch on is the environment. In February this year, we obtained approval for the environmental permit of Los Pelambres Incremental Expansion Project, which is a key element of our future development plans. The environmental permit was unanimously approved by the relevant technical review agencies, and we now expect to take this project to the board for approval by the end of the year. When constructed, it is expected to increase Los Pelambres' current production by 55,000 tons per annum, which will allow Pelambres to return to its earlier production levels, compensating for lower grades and the impact of harder ore. In accordance to prior dialogues with the community, the project includes the construction of a 400 per second desalination plant, which is sized to serve the needs of both this project as well as acting as a backup facility for the existing operation. As water is a critical challenge for all our mining operations, we have for many years been sourcing water from the sea, starting at Michilla in the 1990s. As we expand, our total water consumption increases, but in 2017, 45% of the water used by the mining group was from the sea, and this percentage will increase further once the Los Pelambres Desalination Plant is built. In turn, at Centinela, 88% of the water we use is seawater, and at Antucoya is 100%. Regarding energy, we have incorporated renewable energy into our consumption base, starting with investments in solar plants, and we expect soon to be entering into new power supply agreements with renewable energy providers. We have moved from 5% of our energy consumption coming from renewable sources in 2015 to 21% last year, and at Los Pelambres it is 54%. We recently updated our environmental management model that seeks to promote reporting, improving the quality of information produced and collected, and ensuring the completion of the corrective actions that we have committed to. These commitments are contained in our environmental permits and govern our operations. But beyond this, we're also interested in maintaining a system that is fully integrated into the management of our day-to-day operations, ensuring the implementation of critical controls to manage the environmental risks, whether they are foreseen in the current commitments, as it is the case of those that are part of the existing permits, or anew, for example, those that have arisen from the effects of climate change. As well as using increasing amounts of seawater and renewable energy, we're also for the first time committing to a 3% reduction in greenhouse gas emissions for the 5-year period between 2018 and 22, which is equivalent to more than 300,000 tons of CO2 reduction. Moving on from the environment, our sustainability policy also considers strong corporate governance as a key element to manage our business. We have recently reviewed and continue to refine our risk management systems so that they are in line with all aspects of both UK and Chilean best corporate governance practices. During 2017, we were recertified under the Chilean crime prevention laws compliance systems, which is externally verified. We also reviewed, investigated, and took appropriate action on claims submitted through a hotline of potential contraventions to company policy or breaches of our standard and procedures. I would like now to close with an overview of our economic and financial performance. In Antofagasta, we have a clear focus on producing profitable tons by managing cost, improving productivity and efficiency, and applying innovative solutions to the challenges we face. Despite lower grades, we had a solid performance in 2017, producing just over 700,000 tons of copper at a net cash cost of $1.25 per pound. Our EBITDA was $2.6 billion, and our margins at 54% were our highest since 2012, when the copper price was about 30% higher. In the third quarter of last year, we brought on stream the Encuentro oxide plant at Centinela. Once it is running at capacity, this will allow us to make use of the spare capacity at the SX-EW plant at Centinela and help offset lower grades. We have made progress over the last few years in improving the efficiency of our operations. This would not have been possible without the support and hard work of our key stakeholders, and especially our employees and contractors, who I would like to thank for their great work and commitment. Looking ahead, this year we plan to maintain the momentum achieved last year. Safety is always our priority, and we will work hard in ensuring that our fatality-free record continues. We regard delivering on production guidance as one of our main targets. This year we expect to see a 3% increase in production. Our copper head grade reached a low point in Q1 2018, but will increase quarter by quarter through the year, with the average for the full year being very similar to last year, and then increasing in 2019. We remain focused on productivity and cost, with a target of achieving $100 million of savings on further improvements we make this year. And during the year, we expect the Los Pelambres incremental expansion project to be submitted for consideration to the board. At Centinela, on the other hand, we're considering two alternatives for expansion and are evaluating their respective returns and risk profiles before deciding on which one to take to the next stage of assessment. On balance, 2017 was a year with several achievements. But as we turn to the current year, we continue to work on many challenges and opportunities as we continue to look for ways to further create long-term value for all our stakeholders.